Hey guys, Cody with Double C Custom Leather here. Today we're going to do a video in regards to how to dye a wood grain or tiger print pattern onto your leather. This is specifically going to be for your veg tan leather guys who dye their own colors. If you buy pre-bought dyed leather, then this may not apply to you. But this is one way you can really step up your leather dye game, and you can really bring some more contrast to your work and some more pop to your projects. Now the reason we're doing this video rather than just a how to dye leather brown, black, natural colors is because there's tons of videos already on the web, on YouTube about that, and we're trying to come to you guys with a little bit more of original content, something that somebody else hasn't already done. There's tons of other guys out there that are super talented that are doing this stuff and putting out content on how to do some of this stuff. So this is just some stuff that we think maybe might help somebody else as another tool in your toolbox, and something that you can use to go forth and make your projects just that much better. These holsters can be a little bit loud, for lack of a better term. Like something like this is not something that I would wear. I'm simple. I like it brown, straight brown, super clean looking. But there are a lot of people who order this in our shop, and when they call and they want a holster, they request this specific pattern, this specific paint job. One of the things to note when you're using this specific technique is that it's all about the contrast between colors. The base coat that you put on, if it's a lighter color, is going to pop more if you use a darker color. Some of these are very close in shade. You have like a really light brown and then just a couple shades darker brown. That's not going to give you as much of a pop or a contrast as if you were to use a light brown and then a super dark brown or a black. So just keep that in mind. The closer your colors are to the shade is essentially how much contrast you're going to get and how loud that holster or that project is going to end up being. So with that being said, it's good to have yourself a couple of these color swatches pre-made up so you can look at the different shades and the different colors of leather that come out. And also note that depending on how many coats you use, that's how dark your leather is going to end up being. So keep that in mind when you're doing your holster or you're doing your project, how much contrast you want versus how many coats you're going to put on the base coat, as well as how many coats you're going to put on the coat that creates the wood grain look or the tiger stripes themselves. So with that being said, guys, we're going to get the camera turned around. We'll go ahead and get right into this. I'll put some of the different products that we use down in a link below. I do want to go ahead and disclaim that some of those links are affiliate links, so if you want to help the channel out, use those links to buy the products, or use those links to get to Amazon to buy other products, and that will help the channel. So we're going to go ahead and get the camera turned around, guys, and we will get started on this project. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. What you're going to need for this is you're going to need a stack of paper towels here, as well as you're going to need some daubers, wool daubers. We use wool daubers something like this in our shop, as well as you'll need two different types of dyes that contrast well together. We're going to use light brown for the main body of the holster. This is Fibing's Pro Dye. This is pretty much all we use in our shop. I feel like this gives us the best results. And then we are going to use a Show Brown Pro Dye by Fibing's that is a lot darker than the light brown. That's going to give us a really good contrast. We'll probably have to put 2 or 3 coats of the light brown on, so we're keeping that in mind, and it'll end up looking really good. Now this particular holster that we're using is it's a revolver holster. It's for a J-frame. It's going to be inside the waistband. So we're going to have 2 different pieces of leather to dye. So you'll be able to see it on a small piece as well as a big piece. This is the actual piece that the clip goes onto. And this is the piece that is the main body of the holster. I know it looks kind of like a funky shape right now, but I promise you the shape works really well for a J-frame. So we're going to go ahead and start getting it dyed up. Let's keep in mind however many coats we put as our base layer for this, we're going to put for our base layer of this as well, to keep those two colors as close together as we can. As you can see, this is very splotchy for a first coat. We're going to have to come back with additional coats, so let's go ahead and get that placed on there. As you'll see, I'm using really long one-dimensional strokes. All my strokes are going the same way. That's the technique that works best for me. And then what I'm doing now is I'm just going back and touching up some of the light spots. Some of the spots that I can see that the leather didn't soak up as much dye as the others, going back and touching those up. I'll come back with one more coat, very light third coat, just to get everything evened out. As you'll notice, guys, I've got 2 coats here, 3 coats here. We're going to put our final third coat on this, and that'll do it for our base coats. All right, that's 3 coats. We're going to give this time to kind of dry a little bit, and then we'll come back with our top coat, which is going to be our stripes. Alright guys, so we've given it about 5 minutes to dry completely as far as the wetness of the dye. Now it'll lighten up as it soaks. Give it about 24 hours to dry completely, but it's dry enough to come back and do our second stage here. So we're going to come back with our Show Brown Pro Dye. And how we do this, or how I do it, is I go ahead and I get my dauber completely saturated, all the way saturated with this color dye, and then I come and I bleed a lot of it off onto a stack of paper towels. Now this might seem like a waste of dye, and it kind of is, but the results you get are better if you're not having super dark stripes. So what I'm going to do is now, in one-dimensional, one-directional strokes, I'm going to apply just where I think looks good. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm just going to kind of lightly apply strokes, and you'll see you can kind of start halfway and do a few this way. Give it some dimension, give it some gaps. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's all just depends on what you think looks good. We'll do the same to our piece here. You see, most of this is going to be covered up by the clip. But as you can see, this is the result that you get. And see, we got a little bit of a spot right here where I feel like we could use some more. We just put a couple in there. Spot over here. Just put it where we think we need it. And like I said, no right or wrong way to do it, but that really contrasts well together. It really makes the holster pop. The customer is going to be really happy with this holster. Alright guys, so that's how we do that technique. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, there's really no right way or wrong way to do this. You guys just play around with it, see what you can come up with. I'll put in some B-roll right here just to show you guys how the holster turned out. And you guys take this to your shop, experiment with it and see what you can come up with. I do want to point out that there is another way that you can get even more dimension. If you use a really light color and then stage up your darker colors, you can use 2 to 3, 4, even 5 darker colors to get some different depth. So like maybe a super light brown, a medium brown, and then a dark brown. And you can really play around with it and kind of get your own way of doing this. You guys make sure to check the links out below. I'll link everything that I used in this video down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. You guys stay tuned for more videos, and hopefully we will see you guys next time.